Okay, we're going to take and tie a fly called a half and half. It's actually a saltwater fly. I reduced this to a size 10. We're going to tie it with a size 10, 4 extra long streamer hook. I'm going to use some white painted dumbbell eyes. These are small. Some hackle feathers in the color of olive. Some gold flash. Some Zap-A-Gap. We're going to be tying this with white bucktail and olive bucktail. And we're using a size 140 white thread. We're going to start our thread on the hook here. I'll take a few wraps back, snip off the tag end. And we're going to take the dumbbell eyes and measure, take and mark that. I'm going to wrap the thread back to that point. I'm getting a good layer of thread on the hook here. We're going to take our dumbbell eyes, lay them crossways and tie them in. Take a few wraps on this side and then wrap to the back side of the opposite end of the dumbbell eye. Make sure you keep them on top and try and level them up. And then we'll wrap underneath of the each side of the eye. That tightens the thread down. And take a couple wraps. And we're going to add some super glue. This will hold those in place. I'm going to take some bucktail. I want to try and get the ends as even as I can. And I'll take and place these in a hair stacker. And we'll take our clump of bucktail here, and it needs to be about the length of a hook shank. And we take, and where our mark is, we're going to take and cut the bucktail right where the eyes are. Now take and twist your threads counterclockwise so that you'll notice when I bring this up, you'll see the thread jump to my fingers. That grabs the hair, and I can take and tie it down. Keep the bucktail up on top of the hook and right backwards to the hook bend. And I'll wrap forwards a little bit. Now I'll take two of my hackle feathers. And I want to place these ends together with the curve curving inwards toward the hook. And these need to be about the length from the hook bend to the end of the bucktail. And I'll take and measure that, hold that, then I'll strip away all of the fibers. I'm going to cut these and tie them in on the side of the hook. As I say, these are curving inward. Make sure these are flat against the side. Adjust them as necessary. And we'll do the same to the other side. These are curving also in toward the hook. We'll take and wrap these down. I'm wrapping the thread forward. We're going to take a couple strands of gold flash. I'm going to wrap this around the thread and pull it up on tight. Then I'm going to separate two strands on each side of my finger and pull these back so that I have two strands of flash on each side. Now I'll wrap back to the hook bend and again forward. Take and pull your flash up, mark it. We'll cut that off about the end of the bucktail. Okay, again we're going to take some bucktail, even up the ends. We have a little bit larger bundle at this point. This will go on the top of the hook, just like a clouser minnow. We'll take and lay this up on top, same length. Reach back to the end of the bucktail. We'll mark it and cut it up here just behind the eye. And for our next trick, we'll try and tie this in. Make sure your thread is in the front. We'll take a couple of loose wraps and then we'll take and pull it down and tighten, and then continue to make tight wraps around the front, wrapping up to just behind the hook eye, and then wrapping back, then behind the eyes. And we want to keep the bucktail up on top of the hook, and it'll get away from you. Take and drop back a little bit, get a better hold on it. And we'll take and tighten down just behind the eye, and we'll take some large spaced wraps back to the hook bend. Take a couple of wraps around the hook bend and some spaced out wraps back forward. And we'll move in front of the eye. We'll take and turn our vise upside down. We'll take some olive bucktail this time. And we'll even up the ends. I'm going to put these in a hair stacker also. Okay, the olive bucktail will reach to the back of the rest of the other bucktail to the end of the fly. We'll take and hold this and mark it, and we want to cut this just behind the eye, or correction, the hook eye. And the trick here is to tie this in without bleeding too much. We'll take a few loose wraps and then tighten down, and then start wrapping to make a head on the front of this fly. We're going to take and do a whip finish. I'm going to do another whip finish here, a small one, about 3 or 4 wraps. Cut my thread. I'm going to clean up the fly a little bit here in front. And we're going to use our loon. I'm using a thin UV glue. We'll apply this to the head of the fly all the way around. And we're going to hit this with our UV light. That's the half and half tied in a size 10. And as you know, when you're looking at it this way, the fly is upside down. The eyes actually are on the bottom, and it rides hook point up. just like that.